Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Nanyang European Championships. We're still trying to wrap our heads around 6.85, and as we do, the teams are trying to figure out what to pick next. So let's go ahead, hop into game number 2 as Alliance take on the Monkey Freedom Fighters. Ben, it's a first overall pick, Chen.
The Wisp didn't really seem to do that much, mostly because it was a not ideal partner, and secondly because they kind of lost all of their lanes. Maybe not bottom lane so much, but they definitely lost their top and mid. So maybe looking to shore up their laning weaknesses with Chen. Chen received a few buffs, not really any directly related to Holy Persuasion, mostly his other skills. I guess Holy Persuasion with Ancients, but that's way later in the game.
So with Chen, the only real direct changes were that his early nukes get better. The Test of Faith gets a lot better. Mana costs way more usable at the early levels, and even max, it's only 120 instead of the old 175. Cooldown's lower, so he can do a little more damage on his own early on.
You might also see some more like Puck and Storm sendbacks to keep up pressure. And now the cooldown's like much shorter, so you can do that more often. So not super useful, but definitely a step in the right direction for Chen. Most junglers really haven't seen that much play in 6.84 and 6.83.
So they do go again for the bat. They really seem to have a lot of faith on this hero.
I don't think the Bat Rider was a problem at all last game. I think they should be very wary of the mid-match at Viper. Because they picked the Nature's Prophet and the Bat Rider last game, they knew that it was going to be a mid-Bat Rider, which made it very easy to pair the Viper versus it. If they don't reveal their offlaner and their mid, they can always put Bulldog on the Bat Rider and then give a better matchup for S4 in the middle lane.
Naga now banned out by the Freedom Fighters. Maybe worried about Alliance trying to find another engine for the rat. Lota did used to play a decent amount of Naga.
Naga's also just really good against the initiation from Winter Wyvern and Tusk. It just like completely owns both of their jump spells, the Snowball as well as Winter's Curse.
Now the Shadow Fiend removed, so we'll see a fairly independent solo mid taken out of the pool by Alliance.
It makes me more likely to think that they're going to run it mid, just because Bat Rider is such a he's just a weak laner in the mid lane, I would say. The Lina is still, I think, still going to be a pretty good pick. Her effectiveness before Scepter, pretty much like before like 25 minutes, wasn't really touched that much. I think her level 1 ult still does the same amount of damage. Her level 2 ult slightly nerfed. So overall, I think she's still pretty good. Especially with the 4-1-1 build, your damage is not nerfed that significantly.
Chen Bat Rider. So many ways you can go with this type of open. I mean, we've seen like heavy push strats built around it. We've seen Chen just used to secure the jungle early and then back off into late game. And the Freedom Fighters worried about not the Bulldog Prophet, but the Lone Druid. They will remove it.
Yeah, I would still be a little bit scared of the Nature's Prophet, just because Nature's Prophet plus Chen. We saw them have like a potentially strong push lineup last game, but with the lanes lost that badly, they couldn't really transition into too many towers, aside from when they were trading. But with this lineup, it's really difficult to push into Winter Wyvern Tusk. They have really long range wave clears, and even the sturdiness of Chen creeps generally isn't enough to keep them alive for a sustained push. And on top of that, now they have Gyrocopter. If I'm Alliance, I'm like, okay, well, that's we might split push, but in terms of just straight 5-man push, that is almost completely out of the question based on MFF's draft.
Third pick will be the Gyro. So the old reliable still in the fold here. Gyrocopter, of course, the Rocket Barrage got nerfed a little bit, and Call Down no longer slows through spell immunity. So the net change on the damage of Rocket Barrage is only 30 at each level. Not a huge nerf, but considering how spammable it is, definitely can add up a bit. See the Bulldog Prophet again.
They didn't ban out the Viper, though, which I think is still pretty scary. They kind of just ignored him last game, tried to ignore him as much as they could, but it's just it was such a terrible matchup for Bat Rider.
I mean, maybe Alliance feels like part of the issue was just how the laning stage went, though, because there were some really avoidable kills that game. The first blood on the Wisp probably could have been avoided. The second kill on the Wisp but he was just in like way too far. And then the Bat Rider also S4 went for a kill and just didn't quite have the math right on the Viper.
But they have to do well in the lanes now. They have 3 heroes that can occupy the jungle if their lanes go badly. But if all 3 of your lanes go badly and you have 3 heroes in your jungle, they're just gonna go fight you in your own on your own side of the map. So they still have to have strong lanes, and they can't resort to like double and triple stacking like they did with Wisp last game because Chen's gonna be there. I guess Chen can be in the offensive jungle, which opens a few more options.
Slark is the pick. We've seen 2 Slarks today. First one didn't go so well. Very different type of draft around him this time, though.
Yeah, Slark was against a lot of AoE, and I think game number 1, or in the last series. Versus Bat Rider, he's really good, and there's not really much AoE that Nature's Prophet and Chen can do through Shadow Dance, so even that's pretty good. I like the Slark here.
I wonder what their lanes are going to be. Is this mid gyrocopter?
5 seconds
Support
remaining.
gyro? Offlane Slark?
Reserve time.
I'm not sure. They don't really have a good way to deal with the Chen early, I feel like. Like no Witch Doctor or Crystal Maiden, no like good defensive support. Even maybe like a Dazzle, I suppose, is decent at handling the aggression from Chen if Chen plays aggressively. And I think Aki actually tends to play pretty aggressively on that, rather than just farm up for a mech and then do things.
Ah, the Shaman coming out.
Radiant team back.
Alliance really gearing up for some tower taking, and they choose the Shaman over... Oh, I like that ban. I like that ban a lot.
Alliances turn to ban.
Even choosing the Shaman over the Twin Head we saw last game, though. Interesting.
Shaman's really good here because I thought they were gonna have like a lot of anti-push with the abilities, but the wards are magic immune, and Gyro I guess is kind of the only one that can somewhat deal with him being a ranged hero and all. But I don't know. I thought they committed very hard on just having a lot of anti-AoE, and Alliance is like, okay, screw it, we're still going to go through with it, which I think is pretty risky. It also seemed like they did kind of the same thing last game. It's like, we want these heroes. It doesn't really matter what you're going to pick, and we're still going to run these, even though it wasn't the best, I think, in the situation given, for example, the Lifestealer last pick into the Viper and the Spectre. So it seems like a similar story. It's a good strategy to have, but against this particular draft, it seems very risky.
Aha! I'm happy now. We get to see the old ogre coming out. Do want to mention Shadow Shaman's Shackles cooldown lowered from 16 to 10, and they do more damage if you level them up. Still though, channeling disable. Don't know how much we'll see it leveled up, but Ogre Magi, 8 armor now. Bloodlust got buffed, can be cast on towers.
10
And
seconds remaining.
your multicast Bloodlust will affect spell immune allies.
More
5
tower
seconds
defense.
remaining.
So this is their counter to the push strat, the super tower.
What other carries are there that synergize well with pushing? Okay, Wraith King's decent. He tends to actually give Slark a lot of stacks though, because he stays alive for so long. Okay sustain, I suppose, for the push, but I think Slark's gonna have a field day here. He owns Shadow Shaman really hard. Pretty good versus Bat Rider. Can escape, I say, fairly easily from Chen and
They have
MP.
like no AoE.
Yeah, this is
He's
pretty
dark
scary.
packed off the lasso and the Wraith King stun, and
And he has an easy lane. He's versus the Bat Rider. Again, they show
so
the
what's
NP
the
and the Bat
plan
Rider.
with the Wraith King? Obviously, he can Rosh early. That's something to keep in mind. Changes to Wraith King. Base damage increased by 7. That's pretty big.
That's a lot. That's a lot of
That's
damage.
a lot of damage. And I mean, the Vampiric Guard does not show the healing effect if he's in fog. That's pretty minor.
10 seconds
Reincarnation's Allied Scepter or Aghanim Scepter Allied Death Delay increased from 5 to 7 seconds.
remaining.
But that already means your allies are dying, which is to me like never a great situation.
Well, and Wraith King has an Ags, which is not that great for a core.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm curious to see what Alliance 7 start. I feel like maybe there's a little cheese plan that we're not quite seeing just yet.
Level 1 Roche.
Yeah,
It could be a very early Roche, though, with
I mean,
Lifesteal
probably not. They're not a
and
level
MP.
1.
Not a level 1. I would say level 6 on Shadow Shaman is a pretty good time. But they have to win the laning phase and be able to take T1s down, which seems very difficult given the lineup that Monkey Freedom Fighters has.
All right, let's get into it. Game number 2 of this best of 3 with the Monkey Business Boys already having taken down the mighty Na'Vi. Now Monkey Freedom Fighters looking to slay the Alliance. They've got fucking Mad on the Ogre Magi. Beaver Knight, Sing Sing handling the Tusk again. Necroman, this time on the Slark. It will be Sarkshka on the Gyro. And they do almost, in fact, they successfully catch out my nuts. He tries to scurry away through the trees. 2 stuns already used. The 2 beefy bruisers just rushing in on him. They do shackle up Mad, though, as the trade, but 7 armor. Ogre just ever so tanky.
Good luck.
30 seconds
Takes
to
no
ban.
damage. He doesn't have that much health, though, compared to, you know, like your Spirit Breaker, for
He has a lot of regen, though.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's probably... I'd rather have more regen, I think, than max HP.
3.2 per second.
And he's just going to be constantly messing with the Chen. And Chen has wards, but no boots. Unfortunately, he has Fire Blast, which I think is a little worse for level 1 roaming, but he thought it would secure them a kill. From some nice... He's really good with the Ice Shards, by the way.
Yeah, just in general, that duo, because you know, he needs to get close. The cast range on Fire Blast is not very high, but Snowball will solve your problem there.
And Sigil. Sigil plus Ignite Slow.
Yeah, that's you're not running from that. I feel that's where I mean, as you mentioned, like it's a great Slark game. It also feels like it could be a terrible Wraith King game.
Yeah,
Sigil,
it really does.
the call down slow, the mass nuke damage, just so many ways to control him. Even Winter's Curse through the BKB, and he's really the only carry or hard damage dealer, unless Bulldog goes off. I don't know. We'll see what Alliance have in store.
They're relying on
keep an open
Tower
mind.
Gold. They have to. They have to get Tower Gold.
It seems like they're very push centric.
I think like a solo Winter Wyvern though will be able to stall pushes at least until Shadow Shaman gets level 6. That's a big problem that I see with Alliance's lineup, is just taking towers without the use of Shaman ultimate.
It's always the case with the Shaman drafts. If the wards don't get objectives, I feel like the win rate on Shaman like plummets.
I mean, even getting level 6 with him might be difficult. They might be running. They're gonna run.
What is he gonna do when they run at him with like the gyro, or is it Slark off lane here? Might be. I guess they're starting with the Tusk.
It'll be Tusk and then a roaming Ogre.
Yeah.
So if they can just like bypass the Wraith King, even if he throws out a stun, they can just like snowball past them and be like, "Oh,
Yeah,
hey,
maybe
what's up,
even
Shaman?"
dodge that stun as well. Yeah, gonna be tough for my nuts. Maybe he goes with the Chen, do a little roaming. Does have the early boots picked up, which probably saved his life there in the earlier skirmish.
Shackles did get buffed a decent amount. I wonder if people are going to start maxing it. 441 was by far the best build for
Still
Shaman
a
before.
channeling disable though, on
Yeah,
a squishy
it is.
support.
Do you really want to sit there? Do
Hey,
that?
stay! Why don't you stay there for a little while? They've got what, like 4 heroes who can remove it, and then the Slark later on may get a stun. But for now, it's the Clubman going to work on Chen.
Tough life. You don't really want the Ogre to know where you are at the start. Sometimes you'll see Chen's like hide, so they can sometimes go into the offensive jungle and get a big camp and get like level 2 before he starts getting harassed. But it's not easy.
Okay, so we have our answer to the interesting lanes. It will be a dual lane Slark mid, at least to start. Gyro left solo versus Bulldog, who's already putting the hurt on him with the Boots first build. And then the more standard off-lane Tusk to round things out. So Wraith King versus Tusk 1v1 for now, but my nuts does move in.
I'd like to see more flexibility from Alliance's lanes and not have to put Bat Rider in the middle, for example. Because Slark's not that great of a mid. He is in certain matchups like this one, but they're just not flexible enough to rotate out their lanes. At least not this early. Let's see. What is he going to do with that Wild Wing? Looks like only take out a single stack. No stacks for old Ake. Just desperately trying to get experience while the Ogre is elsewhere on the map.
Yeah, Ogre's happy to just go to work on the top lane. Loda early on, not really getting harassed all too much, but it's the Shaman they really want. And they do have a ward here.
Uh-oh.
Scouting out my nuts. This could be bad. The Boots first makes them a little more difficult.
Okay, now they have Snowball.
Uh-oh. Let's get the shackles off here. Mad, though. Able to survive through this. Some additional damage over time comes out. Sing Sing has a snowball if needed.
Wow, that shackle
good
cooldown
damage.
is so low right now. Oh my god, it was almost up when Ogre was running away. See, like they could have just turned around on the Shaman. I feel like Snowball and just dragged.
Yeah, the snowball shards, drop the stun. They don't
Yeah.
have level 2 in Mad, though, which kind of hurts.
Oh, very nice shards to block Loda in. Oh no, he took a couple damage.
Yeah, definitely took some pot shots from
But
the
now he doesn't really have that much mana left and no clarity, so that goes any kill potential for.
Oh hey, S4, did you want this haste turn? Too bad. Kebab. This is kebab, apparently, for those wondering. I've been told by the manager of MFF, so take some pleasure here in just depriving S4 of his vaunted rune, his namesake. You know, some players have heroes named after them, Ben. S4 has a rune named after him. It's pretty next level. Necroman, though, going in very deep, trying to get the kill there, just barely missing on the pounce. Won't be able to finish off the Bat Rider. I do want to point out Ake narrowly missing on his D-ward attempt here in his own jungle, so they've seen all his movements this game.
They have no stacks this time for the Bat Rider. They've even blocked out that big camp on the left side. Chen's occupying the right 3, and Ogre's contesting the pool camp. So this early jungling is not going to be very good. He's not going to have a great timing on the Blink Dagger, or Chen and Shadow Shaman are going to be really underfarmed, both of which are really bad for them heading into 15 minutes.
Well, Ake's second D-ward will be a success. Unblocks the camp. But you brought it up early. How much will my nuts get in the way of levels? And so far, only level 2 here, not getting a ton of stacks. This is leeching a decent amount of experience.
Oh, he's stealing the siege creep. There they go. Who needs wards when you have siege creep?
Oh, yeah. That's a interesting play. Double catapult shenanigans. And it's a tankier siege creep as well. 800 health. It's a fairly big deal, actually. Shards come out, and I mean, do they have the split, the counter push to stop this? No points in Splinter Blast yet. Slark going in mid lane, trying to finish off S4. Meanwhile, Necroman might get turned on here. S4 had the flame break, but not quite enough damage, and now Loda gets a follow-up stun. My nuts has the shackle. Ogre stun cooling down, can get it off now, but it's too late. The Beaver Knight goes down. The first blood to Alliance. Let the death ball begin. Mad stunned up next. The lifesteal keeping everyone a bit fresher through the wear. They even buy back on the Tusk, really committing for this. Shard should be enough to get the Loda kill, but it looks like Singsi was hoping to also wrangle Bulldog. Won't be successful. A 2 for 1 so far. Ake making it back to base, but the tower is down. The double catapult.
That siege creep just
the
looks
800
ridiculous.
health catapult. Now, just gonna mosey on towards mid, it looks like. I mean, maybe that's the play. You just build this catapult army.
This is before Winter Wyvern has any points in Splinter Blast, though. He went a 1-0-1 build. You actually usually see 1-2-0 on him for that split push and AoE potential.
This was supposed to be a small patch, but I feel like Dota's gotten so weird today. See Lifestealer just an ancient just casually farming the lane, impossible to gank. Catapults roaming the world. Dota's getting wacky.
Early 6.84 was wacky, too. Like, Alk just giving ags to everyone.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. Or the Weaver eggs, where...
S4 runs into Kebab.
Slowly taking some damage here in the jungle. S4 in deep. Looks like he wanted to try and steal the Radiant stacks, but he will not be allowed to do so freely. Necroman, unable to finish him off.
He doesn't have a TB scroll. He is...
Uh-oh, he's got stick charges, though. Where is he going to end up? Those Fireflies wearing off soon. And it wears off right in front of an angry ogre who's hunting him. 4 heroes chasing S4 around the map. They only have a Splinter Blast now. The Arctic Burn on cooldown, but Necroman finds the pounce up the cliff. Very well played by the Slark. We'll get the kill. The trade, though, is Sing Sing also dying top exactly at that moment.
Sick pounce.
1 for 1. And that's an ability that's very easy to mess up.
Bulldog with the early Orchid. Orchid's good versus Winter Wyvern, but with a decent snowball or well-timed Dark Pact, it should be of limited effectiveness, I would say. Theoretically. So let's see. How is Shadow Shaman's levels going? He went 1-1-1. No Arcane Boots up yet.
Oh, Necroman posting up again. Well, snowball in. S4 will get blown up. Necroman will man to get the last hit. That gives him level 6. Good rotation by Sing Sing. Unveiling the combo. Didn't even need the Walrus Punch there.
He is a long way from Blink Dagger and no money in the bank with stacks.
I mean, this is, you know, as soon as the patch came out, I asked you, what do you think of the new Bat Rider, Ben, with the eggs upgrade and the slightly improved flame break? But, you know, you said, oh, I still think his laning's weak, and It does seem to be the issue here. 2 games in a row now where S4 just gets off to a slow start. They try to counter gank now. Beaver Knight, Sing Sing trapped out. The long shackle will mean a death for him. My Nuts still going 2-on-1 here. Haven't seen if he's going to favor the shackles at all yet.
Good involvement by Loda early. It's hard to be super effective with Wraith King because you farm slowly and you're not super mobile, but he's getting things done. 3-1 on him. As far as builds go, looks like he's going for his favored Midas. You see Blink, you see Blade Mail a decent amount. I think Blink is kind of mandatory just because of how many abilities they have to kite him.
Yeah.
But
I mean, maybe a 4th staff.
well, you don't have to have a blink if you're just straight sieging towers, but eventually you'll get harassed down to the point where you have to engage on them at some point. And they really want him to engage so they can drop the wards and start the fight off from there.
So Slark picks up an Illusion Rune now. Still the 2 Radiant cores, the leaders in terms of net worth.
Man, Snowball's such a big problem for Bulldog.
Oh, it got dove under the tower and quickly blown up.
They're doing okay. I think the early push has kind of been quelled. The buyback on Sing, I think, was definitely worth it. They slowed down the push. They got the kill on Loda, and the tower did fall, but it required very heavy investment from Alliance, and Shadow Shaman didn't pick up his very necessary levels. He's trying to leech on bottom, but they have him in Reserve Ward. If he tries to push up too far, he's just going to get owned. So I'm really worried about his level 6 timing. I'm really worried about Bat Riders, Blink timing.
Mad, they found the Ogre. Will that 8 armor save him? No, sorry, it will not. And meanwhile, mid lane, they've also jumped in, executing Ake's Chen, so 1-for-1 around the map. Both teams getting aggressive here. Let's see, can they make anything happen as far as a push goes for either side? Loda still trying to complete either that armlet or the Midas.
Midas, dude.
It's Loda, so I'm going to definitely favor the Midas as the more likely one. But I think it's pretty core on Wraith King just to get your level 3 ultimate as quickly as possible.
Yeah. I mean, you can also get Radiance and it'll speed up your farm a lot because he doesn't really have that many farming tools.
That's true, actually. Who is it?
It's the Leviathan.
Leviathan player. Who is it?
Imagine. Well, he's not their carry player anymore.
I can't remember who it was.
Nusham, I think.
Oh yeah, is that right? Yeah, I know they favor a few unconventional things. Leviathan's a lot of fun to watch. It's also the Jenkins Pudge, always a pleasure. Shout out to Jenkins, really awesome guy. Got to hang out with him a bit at TI. But for now, Alliance are still trying to get this big push online as Necroman will tank a Wraith King stun. They try to nuke him a bit, but just pounces away. And you can just see the way the Necroman's moving around. He's 4-0-1. He's confidently farming mid with heroes off the map. He's just not afraid of getting ganked.
He's not that farmed, though. He doesn't have his mobility item, his Shadow Blade or his Blink Dagger yet, and S4 has been quietly and peacefully farming the jungle while his other teammates play very carefully around the map.
Oh, 2 smokes crossing in the night. MFF get their ward down. Who's going to get the jump? Or does anyone get the jump? Shaman ward's not yet online, only level 4, but Bulldog about to get caught out here. The snowball revealed, and it's right when they've already started running down the river, so Alliance can't help him. The dog is dead. And they continue pursuit, call down position. It's only going to hit the Chen creeps. Actually clips Ake once. But is there enough follow-up here? Good stun from Ake. Not sufficient to get the kill, though. And now Sakshka charges forward. Has the rocket barrage going this whole time. Loda looks to finish him off, and they re-engage. Buyback from Bulldog to get back into the fray here. Just wants to help secure some kills. But a beautiful Winter's Curse is really going to punish Alliance now as they stun up S4, popping the magic stick. Loda about to take down that slow is going to make the difference here. Now the lasso finally deployed in this fight. Just a walk-in, drive-by, Necroman re-engaging, finishes off the bat, clips his wings. Beaver Knight kept alive. Take that, Loda. Uppercut in your face. And now they snowball on forward onto Loda. They'll bring him down as well. Can Chen finish the fight? Necroman, he scurries away on 20 HP, gets the triple. Not so lucky as Sing Sing, who's barely brought down. And elsewhere, an army of Trance pursuing Mad, almost blocking him in fully. This gives my Nuts a chance to zap him. They've got the 325 move speed. It's enough. Bulldog finishes the job. 12-7 to the end score there. Bulldog with the buyback. Committed a lot for that fight.
What a hectic fight. They still did save their tower in the mid lane, and I don't think Bulldog died after the second time. He was pretty close, but they split the damage a little bit. So still pretty good for them.
They get the Midas now on Lotus. That's something good.
Yeah, Gyro's
But-
actually pretty underfarmed.
But I mean, as much as you said the Slark isn't out of control farmed yet, he's still 2k gold up on a Midas Wraith King. Necroman is still finding so many kills around the map.
Yeah, he's limiting the opponent's farm really well. I like the way he's moving around the map.
It's more of like a starvation style.
Bat Rider.
Currently under cover of Invis. Does S4 know what's up? The pounce is there. Follow up Dark Pack does have the TP, but he hesitates a bit, and one more poke should be enough to bring him down. Another pounce in 2 seconds. Dark Pack will do the job, and Necroman continues to rampage all over Alliance. Now both spells maxed, and while that's happening, they kill off Loda mid. Of course, this is the Wraith King's weakness. You got the big team fight ult, but it's still on cooldown for over 2 minutes. 2.5 to be exact.
Oh no, they know Minos is there.
Dire's
I think they pinged him out.
is under attack.
They see him with that Observer Ward.
Trying to catch him, throwing the shards up the hill, kind of a long range gamble by the Beaver Knight. While that's going on, the mid tower will
Dire's
collapse.
middle tower has
Monkey
fallen.
Freedom Fighters continuing to pull ahead here versus Alliance. And, you know, Ben, when we started this game, you said Alliance are really counting on tower gold. They're counting on getting ahead early. They are behind now. How do they come back?
Blink Dagger on S4 is the most important thing that they need right now. And then they can maybe hit a timing with like level 11 on Loda and S4 having a Blink Dagger and take a big fight from there. But it's looking really bad. It seems like they're not going to be able to approach any T1s. Very similar to last game. It's like, okay, well,
Bottom tower is
they
under attack.
just can't ever take down anything.
And they're 5-manning. They're 5-manning
Yeah.
into Alliance, the team that we thought would be grouping early. Still, well, just got the Shadow Shaman awards, actually. So maybe this is something that will allow them to take a team fight.
They're really lacking damage. Loda doesn't really have any damage, and he has some attack speed. Chen doesn't offer that much damage. Shadow Shaman with his wards, I think, is a very significant source. Nature's Prophet is trying to get Orchid, but he dies so easily. My
Oh,
nuts
God.
gets...
He's already godlike. It's
Yeah.
14 minutes in. Mid-Slark. Drums complete. Aquila complete. He's already used 3 drum charges here.
Middle tower is
Finding kill after kill after kill. And they're not going to give anything up for free. Popping the call down mid, the dominated siege creep, now up to 1,000 HP.
It's a very similar story. It's like, okay, we lost the lanes. Let's try and split push and not team fight them and try and escape.
bottom tower is under attack.
Overall Alliance game plan continuously seems to be backfiring here. Bulldog goes TP out, but not so lucky. Will be S4. Well, maybe he can get the kill here. Does find Paris. The Hand of God comes out, but pushes him to the low ground. Helps secure his retreat, and now Sing Sing looks to catch. They get the curse off onto Ake. The catapult pounding away at him. Lobs in a couple of extra fireballs, and we'll get the kill. Necroman walks down mid. This is not looking great for the Alliance fans.
Take that 40 siege damage.
So great.
Now he has a Shadow Blade. Slark was already godlike before any big item, and now that he has a Shadow Blade completed, it's devastating for Bulldog.
Tower is under
Oh,
attack.
finally, Loda's ult about to cool down here. Still the level 1 ultimate, though. And even by a gem. That's how far ahead they feel they are. 15 minutes. Let's get total map dominance.
They can only split push if they have vision with the Shadow Blade on Slark now, and I mean Tusk can pretty much catch any of them out and stop their TPs. So that is pretty much their only game plan. Let's see, they have an Observer Ward on top. They have one close to the Roshan pit. And how is S4 on his Blink Dagger? Still working on it. Still working.
It's just the positioning of the Monkey Freedom Fighters. Just constantly on the aggressive. They're not playing with any sort of fear. Alliance has not managed to get in their heads whatsoever.
Well, at least it's nice that they have daytime vision now. They're at a big disadvantage during nighttime because of Slark.
He's going to be the gem bearer, so they're trying to take advantage of the ultimate to get some D
Radiant's
wards.
middle tower is under attack.
And they will find their first one down towards the bottom ruin. Slark looking to reestablish map control, now moving in under cover of Shadowblade. Directly onto my nuts.
This is a underfarmed Shadow Shaman's worst nightmare.
Hell, even the Nature's Prophet is vulnerable, but fortunately, Necroman's timing just a little bit off, so he won't actually find
Dire's
anyone.
top tower is
But they're
under
going to take a tower, and they take it freely. The trade is nothing. Maybe my nut sneaks up and drops the wards, but Necroman's already back. He's seen him. He wants my nuts. And he's going to get him. Pounce comes out. Dark Pack's there and dead. Time to start farming the wards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you very much.
That's like 700 gold, I think, for him.
And the ward's on cooldown, even bigger perhaps.
And they didn't even get that much damage on the tower, only 250 on a full HP one.
I mean, with that, he's now 4,000 up with Loda.
They're smoked with the Blink Dagger, though. Maybe trying to get the gem right here. S4 hoping that he farms out this next wave.
Dire's top tower is under
Yeah, Necroman might oblige them. He's charging in, running uphill into Bulldog right near a Dire Sentry, but it's another quick pick. They desperately need this kill, but how are they going to bring him down? Necroman does tank a stun. He's dropped to about half HP. Dark Pacting, and now the lasso, but he's gone invis. Doesn't have a pounce just
He
yet.
Dark Pacted it. That is...
Oh, dear.
That's
Didn't
your-
even get the lasso sound. It just got canceled so quickly.
That's devastating.
And this is where the Slark Bat Rider matchup is just always bad for the Bat.
I think they can last pick Bat, though, and have him work pretty well. But the early show has proven to be a huge bane of their drafts.
Okay. Oh, nice dodge there by Sing Sing. Avoids that initial Centaur stun. Calldown's going to come through. A ding ding. Okay. The jackpot
No,
is
Centaurs!
death, and now a massacre of all the creeps. I feel like this is what happens most times I see Chen Ben is you have that one bad fight around like 20, 25 minutes. Your whole army's dead. Now you're just a big old range creep.
Bulldog's farm has been pretty decent, all things
He
considered.
does have an Orchid. Maybe gives them a shot to kill the Slark.
Dire's
He has Shadow Blade, so he needs detection and damage, which they don't have at the moment.
I mean, you're probably not gonna have a ward on him because of the gem. And he's even jumping up to the high ground. I'll find a sentry. Necroman taking full advantage of the Slark's mobility here. At 19 minutes, Alliance down 10k gold, 8k experience, getting just plastered so far.
Sing really likes this double bracer phase boost build. You don't see that very often. Generally, you'll see like Blink Mech, Shadow Blade,
Glimmer
Medallion,
Cape even.
Glimmer, yeah, anything like that.
Dire's bottom
Uh-oh.
tower is under attack.
Well, Hockey wants to establish his creep army. Looks like.
Feeding supports.
I mean, this is just what's gonna happen against the Slark, right?
Dire's
13-02.
bottom tower has fallen.
What do? Do they just 5-man their own jungle?
Consider different drafts. They all in on the push, and they lost their lanes again due to certain draft picks and how it all played out. I think that Matt has been really good with his drafts, though. He's shown like a wide variety of heroes. He bans what he thinks is really, really good in this particular version and has counter-drafted Alliance very well.
Alliance, this might be the desperation smoke now as they move in the bottom lane. Loda, S4, my nuts, all grouped up and streaming into the Radiant jungle here, but MFF
Radiant
start
structures
to back
are
off. Could be the
fortified.
perfect time to just retreat and avoid giving up any kills. Kabop will scurry back. They get up onto the next high ground. And S4 does have the blink, no force stab, and it looks like he may find the Wyvern. Dragging him down to the low ground. Do they try to save him? Yeah, they do. They even drop the shards there, catching out
Is
too.
under attack.
Follow-up comes in the form of Necroman. 2 ultimate orbs up. Almost has the Eye of Scotty, and now Loda could be trapped. May end up dying twice here with the ultimate skilled. Well, a quick single death. And where do they go? How do they help him? He just melts to the nuke damage. Oh, actually pops the stick, tries to hang on. But a second Rocket Barrage will finish the job. And now S4, Ake, scrambling their way out of here. They do have a blink available. It looks like Ake may be able to TP out his own cooldown for 5 seconds. And they're not done yet. Sakshka actually hunting S4. Did he see him? Oh, almost. Peekaboo. Has a TP, though. Can blink into the trees. Possibly make his way out. Not too late now. There's a Winter's Curse. Call down. He's going to run back into it nearly. Tries to run away. Rocket Barrage will isolate and finish off the Bat Rider. And with that, straight into the Roach Pit. I don't know if we've seen a Bloodlusted Tower yet, by the way, Ben.
They don't need to.
That's I was hyping it up as like, okay, this will be their big like counter to the push, but Alliance ain't pushing, they're running. God damn it, Necroman. Stop owning so hard. Just 2 solo kills now by him. Just runs in mid and destroys the Shadow Shaman.
Yep, Glimmer already up on Ogre. Yeah, they didn't even get to the chance to group up. They fell so far behind that they had to resort to split push, and unfortunately, it's just how Alliance's early game has always been going. It used to be Ake would really secure control for them, but it seems like the junglers aren't yet completely viable. This isn't even like... I mean, Ogre's pretty strong of a roamer, but he's not as strong as, let's say, like Bounty Hunter was last patch. And there are, I think, a couple of substitutes for that particular role, but they're just outplaying them at every corner.
It's been like a couple games today where we've seen like either an Ember Spirit in the first series, or now for Miracle, now the Necromancer Arc. Like these mobile cores and teams not drafting nearly enough control to handle them. Definitely a source of concern.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot more outdrafts today than I did at the end of 6.84.
I think it's pretty common in a new patch, just because it's I got like the last 5 seconds of it. They just run down the lanes and he's just waiting and massacres them.
I think Alliance is perhaps trying too many new things at once, as opposed to
Like pick one hero that you want to try out.
one or two, I would say. But having Wraith King, yeah, Anti-Mage isn't in the game, and that may make him look like a more attractive pick, but there's still a lot of weaknesses in the hero that don't justify his strengths against this draft, like getting kited. And then Batrider too, if he has a poor laning phase against bad matchups like Viper and like Slark, he has a really tough time coming back. And this is with a really good Bat player.
Yeah, it seems like S4 is still experimenting with the right way to play him.
Yeah, what heroes of theirs are like mainstream from 6.84? Maybe Nature's Prophet for them, I would say, is probably the only one. So they're experimenting with 4 out of their 5, and
even Nature's Prophet. I mean, for them it was a common pick, but he was never like a...
I can see what they're
super
going
reliable.
for, though. It's like a very heavy push strat with a big frontline tank, but you're sacrificing way too much of the other aspects of your draft.
Yeah, they're definitely giving up a lot of mobility.
Admiral Bulldog with a back door in the middle lane, going back for the Shadow Blade.
All right, a little rat action from the dog, but the creeps are coming mid. MFF, well, they just siege. Necroman, the team turned to run and try to help this mid lane, but Necroman says, I'm okay, guys, I got this. Bulldog will take that tier 1, but comes at the cost of nothing else as they continue their siege. He has not successfully stopped this push. Creeps are still walking in. Age is still available. Necroman glimmered and now retreating for a moment. He's bloodlusted as well, and that is a max bloodlust as breaks in, stuns the siege creep. Loda trying to actually stall the push with that. Not entirely sure if that was a mistake, but Necroman engaging as well, and they will finish off one. He looks for a second. He's still got the Aegis here, healed up to full HP, and on the backside of the fight, Loda also looks to retreat. Can't make it out. Necroman beyond godlike. Someone kill them is especially appropriate here, but nobody is going to be able to kill him at this rate. Loda comes back to life. That second life, just a second death. And now the chase forward. Oh, he gets hexed. The Glimmer will keep him alive here. Dark packs off the hex, keeps on running in. Loda dead for 40 seconds now. They're going to have to fight just with the Bulldog. They'll lose their mid lane of Brax. Call down comes in. My nuts are next. My nuts is down. A triple for Paris as well. The leap narrowly missed by Necroman. S4 trying to play with the vision here up on the high ground, but the snowball, you can't dodge that. Well, maybe with the blink he can actually makes it out safely. Bulldog still ratting, just dancing in their base, accepting that the end times are upon Alliance, and there's the call. GG. We got dunked.
So what do they learn from this draft? Wraith King still not terribly strong. Slark, good versus Batrider. Chen still very vulnerable to roaming.
Yeah, it seems like their laning stage has been an issue in both games in general.
Yeah, too many heroes that utilize jungle this game. But
That they had the Bat, the Chen, and the Prophet.
Yeah.
So yeah. I still like the fact that they're experimenting. Unfortunately for Alliance, though, they gotta start getting some wins on the board so they can actually get to a big LAN event before the majors.
I mean, at some point, you can't use that as an excuse anymore. It's like, oh, we were experimenting. Yeah, you have to start winning sometime.
Okay, well, it is day 1 of the new patch,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you're right. They come into this patch struggling, to put it
We
mildly.
saw Nature's Prophet used pretty successfully in the last series, so it's not that hero.
Yeah, it's definitely not like all their heroes were shit. It just felt like the overall composition just didn't work out.
Yeah, and of course, Monkey Freedom Fighters playing better, drafting better.
It's a day for the monkeys. The monkey business squad looks dominant. Maybe one of like the top 3 teams in Europe right now. Even if I don't know if that's saying too much, but they've been impressive.
Jeez.
No, I don't mean it like that. I'm saying like they're playing incredibly well. They look really impressive. Monkey Freedom Fighters, I haven't seen that much of them, but like you said, mad, very solid drafting. They even had a stand in this game, but didn't feel like it. So, guys, with that wraps up today's Nanyang European qualifier action. I believe tomorrow Coddle Guy will be coming on to cast. You're taking a little bit of a break, Ben, as I recall. And I think Gods and then Winter will be joining him to bring you guys the rest of the qualifiers. So, everyone, thank you for joining. Be sure to follow Ben here at Merlini Dota on Twitter. Myself, if you'd like, at LD Dota. With that, VODs will be available at youtube.com/Beyond the Summit TV. And guys, one last reminder, if you haven't already signed up for the open qualifiers for the Summit 4 and you're interested in doing so, the signups will close tomorrow. So you can go over to beyondthesummit.tv, click the big banner at the top. It's free to enter. If you win the open qualifiers, you move into the regional qualifiers, you have a shot to come here to the big land finals to be held in December. And with that all said, guys, we're signing off now. LD and Merlini taking a break for today. Thanks for watching.